Welcome to Before Brunch TV. I'm your host, Stephanie Walters, and so excited to be talking about a topic that I'm so passionate about. Look, if you know anything about me, I'm obsessed with following your dreams, astrological signs, feeling all the feels of everything that you want to do. And so today we're talking about following your dreams and your passions and what that really means. And I will say specifically here, we live in Virginia Beach. In Virginia, there's a lot of things that happen out of here, but sometimes we kind of get overlooked. And so we're here with two great creatives today, Reign and Kendra, who I'm excited to have on today's episode. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes, okay, so ladies, we're gonna dig into who you are and what do you do. I know it sounds like such a huge question. It's like, let me think about all the things that I am. But if you can kind of give a high level overview of what you do, who you are, and then we'll dig a little bit deeper into like who you are. So Reign, I'm gonna start with you.
All right, hi, I'm Reign. So I'm a mom first person always. I have two little girls, Summer and Lyric, one's 10, one is 4. And I specialize in handcrafted all natural teas and lemonades. And I started because of my daughter, Lyric. So we'll get into that later, but
I have a 4-year-old too. So
really? Okay.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Bless you. Please. All right, Kendra.
All right, well, I'm Kendra, and I am a creative. I am a mom as well. I think we all have that in common. Yeah. But I just choose creative approaches in everything that I do, and I'm really beauty focused. So style, fashion, beauty, all of that. But really and truly, like I said, creativity is like the basis of everything that I do. Creative approaches at work, creative approaches at home, creative approaches in my outfits, my wardrobe, whatever that is, I do it creatively.
I love it. And I love, yes, we all have this common bond of being moms. Like, first of all, it's like mom full stop. That is the whole thing in itself. It's like, whoa, that's for like a whole other episode. Yes. Right? You have to get very creative at being a mom too. Right. Yes. But I want to talk about, when did you first know that like this was your calling and this is what you really wanted to do? And Reign, I'll start with you because you said you created this all natural herbal tea bar, and like we'll show you guys what it looks like in action. But you started this because of your children. So talk to me through about that.
Yeah. So I first knew. Funny enough, I first knew back when I was in high school, I wanted to have a restaurant. It was going to be called All Around the World, where I would present all these different cuisines, these different cultural dishes. So that's when I first found my love for just cooking and nutrition overall. But it kind of became full circle when I went to culinary school back in 2016, and I really started diving heavily into the spices and the teas. Around that time, my daughter was diagnosed with autism, so I was looking for like a holistic approach to try to heal her and help her. So I started making a tea specifically for focus and memory and just cognitive support overall. And now to this day, she has to high tea every night before she sleeps. So yeah.
I love that. How about you, Kendra?
I think I just always wanted to do things outside of the normal way of doing things. I think as a kid, like be it my handwriting or just the way that I approached, like I was always doing my little sister's hair. I was always doing something that involved creative expression, music, imitating singers, performing at our family Christmas parties. Like I've always thrown myself into some medium that allowed me to creatively express myself. So at the moment, and like probably 10 years ago, maybe I started really exploring like my personal style and how that made me feel in the creative expression of that. And I feel like my style has really been in the background of everything I've done and making things visually appealing. So I would say probably literally all my life it's been a thing, but up until like fashion blogging and stuff became a thing, I didn't really know how I was going to present that to the world. And then there's that media outlet that gave me the opportunity.
Yeah. I want to dive a little bit deeper into that, because sometimes when I think about fashion and style and when you think about being a creative, sometimes it's like putting on a mask, right? Like, especially I even think about for me, like working in entertainment, it's like, cut, okay, now I can go be myself, right? Yeah. So were there any moments that you felt like in doing what you were doing, it's like, okay, I can be somebody else. I can like showcase this different side of me that may be more accepted through fashion and creativity versus like just being just Kendra?
I'm gonna be honest. So in another life, I was a vocalist. Part of what I loved about like being a singer, I wasn't Kendra. I was Corey Nicole, and I got to like put on the stage outfits and present myself in a way that I normally wouldn't. It was like a little exaggerated, a little extravagant. And that, I think, really woke up like it woke me up in terms of fashion, because it just made me think about like, I can be whoever I want to be right here. Like, I can truly be as extra as I want to be. I can be as beautiful as I want to be. I can have my hair as extravagant and crazy as I want to be. Like, this is my free space of like really and truly exploring my creative style. And so once I stopped performing, it kind of just like trickled into my everyday life. I'm like, oh, well, how can I apply the like unorthodox way of dressing at the office, or in, just walking and going to the mall or something like that. And so I just kind of meshed those two worlds together, and it allowed me to like really just be who I want to be. I can just be beautiful, extra extravagant, creative in everyday life.
And do you feel like, is that like who you really are now?
I do think that's me all day. I even like sometimes I think about singing and like performing, and I think I would just be Kendra. I think I like, this is stage name. I would just be me, because really and truly, this is who I've always been. So that's just
Come on now.
But like, we have to go through those like moments of realization and exploration in order to see like, girl, you've always been fabulous. You just,
I mean, for real.
Reserving it for this one little box. No, it's in my everyday life.
And I think too, especially like once you have children, it's like, how can we tell them, be who you are, be authentically yourself, and we're hiding behind this like stage name. And granted, there's nothing wrong with stage names. It's like, you got to do what you got to do, right? But like, are you still being authentic in that space?
And why are you just reserving it for that particular space or that, life?
Yes, that is deep. Reign, for you started your business out of the need of your daughter, and so it was, giving of service, and of course we're going to protect our kids, by any means possible. And so what kind of mindset and shift did that, have on you, especially because you're dealing with the diagnosis of your child, but then you're still trying to like process this for yourself? So talk about like that mindset and the journey through navigating a business while trying to heal your child.
As far as the mindset shift, I think it kind of just made me get more serious about our health in general, overall, my family's health, because a lot of what I started researching to try to help her, I realized I already knew from before. It's just my studies, I've always been self-taught, even outside of formal education. So it's kind of something I'm obsessed with, health and nutrition overall. So the mindset shift was more so just getting serious about it and being more disciplined with it. And so it's kind of like my purpose in life felt like it aligned with my purpose in that moment, if that makes sense. So it's like, okay, the mission is not to help my daughter, but this is what I already enjoy, this is what I already know how to do. I'm already kind of good at it instinctively. So it kind of just worked out. It just became more physically daunting. It's just, I had to show up more.
And when, you don't hear, well, I think now we hear a lot more Black women talking about health and wellness and the importance of that and the impact on our families. What did you learn about yourself throughout that process?
That I needed to hone in on some skills I hadn't been serious about developing before. So an example of that, I guess, would be critical thinking. So when you said it's in relation to my business, so I can come up with it, just like you were saying, the creativity is there. I can come up with the business name in no problem, in no time. I can come up with a concept with no problem. I can come up with so many things instinctively, super speed. But then when it comes to a challenge I'm presented with that I may have been prepared for, I may get stuck for a second. It may take me a little while to figure out the solution. So critical thinking definitely in chaotic times. And just developing skills that I felt like I was weaker in, because sometimes we'll practice avoidance with those things. We'll continue to focus on what we're so good at already and just making that better, and we'll keep avoiding, and then that leads to procrastination and then fear, because if an opportunity comes that you hadn't prepared yourself for, then what do you do? Those other skills can't save you.
You want to chime in on that? Because that's a whole...
No, that is a thing. I think that all that you said is like, we are in our own way so often, but those moments, I think they do allow you to like expand upon those skills and build them, and they force you to.
I was gonna say, you kind of have to.
They force you to, and that, that's life. And then I also like think about what you said about how you were already interested in like these things, but you had to rise up and discipline yourself before your daughter. But in turn, that like kind of brought you into like your dream.
Yeah.
And I just think about the skills you had and the things you were already learning. Like we're blessed with those skills, those talents, so that we can serve others.
Yes.
And here you are. You were able to serve your daughter.
Thank you.
That's like amazing.
Yeah. I know sometimes people see the end work, right, of what we do, like what we post on social media and the beautiful cocktails. Like your spread is dope, your fashions are dope, but it's like it takes a lot to get there. And talk to me about one of your biggest fears or challenges about some of the work and the things that you all have done. I think talking about the great stuff is great, but it's a lot of internal and external work that goes into what we do.
I tend to be a perfectionist, so when people book me for their special occasions, I kind of take on all the pressure like it's my own wedding or my own birthday party, and I'm just like, these drinks gotta be perfect. I hope they love them, and it's down to the look, the garnish, the taste, the smell, everything. I kind of put my all into it, and so my biggest fear is just that after putting my all into it and being so intentional, that it's still something that they don't like about it or they have a complaint. And I don't really run into that, but it's a constant fear that causes me to be like over perfectionist, you know. So
that's fair, especially when you're providing an actual like service and food. You know, people are picky about food.
Yeah.
I mean, one little thing is like, I didn't like how that like.
Yeah.
People are very. I mean, if you're paying for something, yes, you can be critical and you can be, you know. I understand, but sometimes it's like it's too far.
Yeah. And it's kind of like Erica might have said, like, I'm sensitive about mine, you know, I'm still creative, it's still art for me, so I'm really very intentional. I really put my all, my heart into what I do. So I just always want them to be happy. That's like my end goal, is just to always be happy, to have taken something off what I think.
Yeah, I think I'm just constantly fighting myself. Like, people don't realize that behind those pictures or those visuals comes a girl who probably didn't feel like it on that day, okay? Like, I don't always feel like being dressed up, or I don't always feel like going outside and capturing the footage. I don't always feel like editing. Like, I simply don't always feel like it. And on top of all the things we already do, all the hats that we wear, you know, I think if people really knew how I had to talk to myself, talk to God, work up the nerve to go outside or to go to this particular venue or to find the place to shoot the photos or to make the video, to find the product I like. I mean, if they knew the work that goes into a 1 minute reel, like,
listen,
maybe they like share a little bit more, or they, you know,
that's 4 hours of work.
Listen, that's a half a day of work on top of already working 8 hours somewhere else, or, you know, and it's a lot of work. So like I said, just constantly fighting myself, talking to myself. And I think at the end of everything, my biggest fear is that it will all have been a waste of time, or I would have focused so much on doing this that I missed out on the true thing that I was supposed to be doing. Now, I do know that everything we do leads to something else, so I'm never too critical on it, and I know I'm destined for amazing things. But I do, like, that little thing is sometimes it's in the back of my head, like, did you just waste a half a day for a video that ain't nobody gonna see through?
I feel you on that, especially the part where you say, you know, you feel like you might be missing something else, and it does take the time. I mean, I think about this is the whole, you guys can't see behind the scenes, but it's like a whole production, right? And it takes time to put together a 28-minute show, and the reels, like you said, a 1 minute reel is a half a day process. And I think too, being a parent, it's like, okay, I want my kid to see me following passions, my dreams, but I have to be here. That means I have to be outside and away from this. And so that fear of like, it's not even a fear of missing out on something else. It's a fear of missing out of like your time and yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's hard.
Yeah, that's huge too. Definitely time for me. It's top of the list. So a fear of chasing my dreams and not living my dreams.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
I heard that one, a fear of chasing your dreams and not living them.
Yeah, because sometimes we just get so caught up on the end goal, and so then I look back and I have all these certifications and degrees on my wall, but then today I'm just like sad. Not literally today.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I'm just sitting, so when you're having those moments where you just have to sit with yourself, sometimes those achievements don't even matter. It's the memories and the moments that were created, and so that's what I'm now focusing on. I'm trying to pivot to living more, not working as much.
Yeah. Well, you know what we don't do often enough too is just like sit in an accomplishment, right? Like we're always, because, and I know from y'all, like you're a hustler, like you're out here like trying to get it and you're always on to the next thing. We don't get to say, you know what? That was dope that I did. Let me just sit and like take that in. Oh, that event that I did. Oh, that reel got 10K views. And like that stuff matters. But I think because we're so ambitious and always trying to get to this next level, we don't sit and be like, you know what? Like, let me just rest in this accomplishment. It's always something. And I think that's where that chasing comes from, because you're always trying to get to the next thing. And like, when is enough enough?
Yeah, exactly. Ooh. I think social media plays a big part in that too, because we always have something, even if we're not trying to, it's in your face. There's always something to compare yourself to. So you always feel like, okay, I reached this goal now, but there's something bigger to accomplish, or it's not enough, like you said. So we gotta just unplug sometimes and focus on us. Like, what is it that I want to do? What is it that I actually feel like doing today? Not what I have to do. What do I get to do? What am I gonna allow myself to do?
Kendra, for you, because most of your life and the things that you do, social media you have to rely on, and I feel that same way. What do you do to unplug, and what do you do when you don't want to? Let me sit to that one.
So I am the queen of unplugging.
Mm-hmm.
So
I need your vibes then.
I do it. I'm erratic with it though. Like, it's never planned, but enough is enough. Like, I'm a big person of that, and that's like it's probably a flaw, but I'm like, I need to honor where I am and what I'm feeling right now. We take in too much stimuli all the time. If I sit on social media all day, I'm going to compare myself to 10 people. I'm going to diminish my progress because I'm looking at where I should have been versus where I am right now, or where somebody else is. I'm going to be hyper influenced by what I see, so much so that I'm not like honoring my authentic voice. So I have to unplug. I'm visual. I'm very visual. So I absolutely have to unplug. You get what you get from me when I haven't quite figured out a formula of removing my feelings from it, but I am a creative. I'm a creative, passionate person who feels. So I have to step away sometimes. But in that, I'm still creating. Yeah. In that, I'm still exploring things about myself and about my personal style. And a lot of times and this might sound like very self-centered, but I look at myself for inspiration.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Cheers to that. Yeah, I know that's right. Look at yourself for inspiration. I love that.
Because my stuff is so visual, because I'm documenting so much, I go back in my camera reel and I'm like, okay, look at you. You was killing it then. Oh, look at you. This outfit is amazing. You should recreate something kind of similar, or, just find different points of inspiration for myself where I can push forward and remind myself that it's not about the accomplishment. It's not even about the accomplishments. It's about touching people in this way. You're doing that, so just keep doing that. So I unplug. I shouldn't. It hurts the algorithm. It kills productivity. But I want to be, I think and we were talking about this, like, my goal is to not be so reliant on social media. Yeah. I want to engage. I want to touch people. Yeah. I want to beautify people face to face and come up with customized solutions for people and what they need, what they're yearning for inside, because we all want to be beautiful. Yeah. We all want to present ourselves as our best self, and a lot of times the outside makes us feel good about the inside. It does. So I want to do that. I'm so sick of social media.
Girl, listen, I'm so sick. I feel you, and it sucks because it's like it's so you need critical. It too. Yeah. You need it in a way, but I think the outside is not also always a reflection of what's happening here. Like, there's been so many times I've shown to places and I'm like dying on the inside, like crying, or cry before I show up at an event. But it's like we have to present as such. And I think in this next season, like just finding like what joy looks like for you. And so for both of you, what does joy look like in this next season for you, and thinking through alignment and things being in harmony? How does that look in this year for you? This year being 2024.
Joy for me is gonna spend on just like we were talking about, sitting down, drinking a hot cup of tea, reading a book with a cozy blanket on a rainy day like this. To, I don't know, skydiving. I don't know. I want to get into adventure seriously because I've been a very reserved person my entire life, so I kind of want to get out of my comfort zone. I feel like how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so if I plan to expand and grow in other areas, then I kind of got to get out of my comfort zone, personal life. So I'm going to find different ways to explore, find joy and happiness this year. Not be so,
Okay. Breaking out your shell.
Yeah.
I'm coming out.
Yes.
All right, Kendra, how about you?
I think too, like breaking out of my shell, but really, like I said, engagement, like getting out and touching people, talking to people, being a part of community, like just being present in whatever I'm doing. I'm thinking about the next thing while I'm in the current thing always. So just really just being present, taking in the learning experiences, taking in, like as I sit here and talk to you both, you're dropping so many gems and you're just putting out wisdom that you probably don't even realize you're putting out, and just like really being able to say, "Phew, like I was around powerful women today, and they really poured into me, and they really caused me a little." But being present and just letting life like teach me, and grow.
Yeah, I think for me, joy looks like presence as well, like being fully present in the moment, but being like authentically myself in that moment. So not having to like turn on, turn off, be like, "Oh, I'm on," and I can like maintain the on,
Yeah. That sounds so, that's
free. Yes.
Freedom. And you need freedom to be able to be creative. Like you need that space to just grow.
Absolutely.
Ladies, I appreciate this conversation. Where can people find you to learn more about you?
Okay, so I'm on IG and Facebook, Rainforest_T-Bar or Sunset Rain for my personal page. info@rainforest.co.
You can find me on Instagram at okenspo, O with 3 H's, and Kenspo, which is Kendra, and Inspo combined. And from there, you can find everything else you need to know.
Thank you all so much. And thank you all for tuning in for today's episode of Before Brunch TV. You can find more information and watch previous episodes at beforebrunchtv.com. We'll see you next time.